Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai Ki Jai. The fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So this chapter begins with a question of Arjuna to Krishna with regard to what is the best course of action, whether I should take sannyasa or I should work in Krishna consciousness or work in devotion. So Krishna said, both are good, but I prefer work in devotion. Why it is so, Krishna explained. Because especially in this present age, Kali Yuga, people in the name of sannyasa are not authentic. They are cheating. They just wear the dress of a sannyasi, but their heart is filled with all lusty propensities and desire for enjoying this material world. And to come to the level of sannyasa, at least in this age of Kali, is not easy. It requires a lot of training as per the Vedic Varnashrama system. Sannyasa is the last stage out of the four ashramas: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa ashram. So people are not even trained in Brahmacharya ashram. They want to speak about other ashrams. There is no going to kindergarten and nursery, primary school. What you can study further. That is one thing. And also, in the scriptures, there is a recommendation that in Kali Yuga, sannyasa is forbidden. It is said that Ashwamedha Yajna and cow sacrifice and offering meat to the forefathers, sannyasa, and begetting a child in brother's wife, Ashwamedham Gavalambam Sannyasam Palapaitrikam Devarena Sutotpattim Kalo Pancha Vivarjayet. This is a Sanskrit sloka. 5 things are forbidden in Kali Yuga. Okay, so understanding the situation of Kali Yuga, because Bhagavad Gita will be mostly for the benefit of people of Kali Yuga, because Krishna has spoken just about Kali Yuga was about to begin, the battle of Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra war ended, Kali Yuga started. This is the description in the Mahabharata. Kurukshetra war ended, Kali Yuga started. Time. So, because Bhagavad Gita will be for people of Kali Yuga, Krishna gave a very practical instruction to Arjuna, keeping in mind the mentality of people of Kali Yuga. He said, a person who is having the mentality or the idea of devotion to Krishna, he is a Nitya sannyasi. He is always a sannyasi, always renounced. Because he is not having any desire to enjoy the fruits of his results. As Krishna says, Yona Dveshtina Kamshati. He is not hankering for any personal enjoyment, or he is not hating that, I'm not getting the results, or rather, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. He is not having any dualities in the mind with regard to Krishna's service. Right? He's above all those so-called preferences, biases, which otherwise people have for their personal life or extended self. Like family, society, country. So many preferences people have. Krishna conscious devotee is only concerned about satisfaction of Krishna. That's all. So with that context, Krishna explained how there are less intelligent people who may make a distinction between the sannyasa and work in devotion, but actually speaking, all of them finally lead to the same goal. And Krishna has always given preference that work in devotion is more practical and easy for people to follow. Now, sometimes people in the name of sannyasa, they may simply make a show and not do anything. There's possibility that they'll only be pretenders, or as Prabhupada says, pseudo yogis, false yogis. They have a dress of a sannyasi. They look like a sannyasi, but as Prabhupada says, it's called Markata Vairagya. Markata means monkey. Monkey Vairagya. Monkeys are very renounced. They don't wear any dress, no dress. They live in the forest. They live on, some fruits, nuts. Very renounced, looks like. But each male monkey has a dozen female monkeys as companions. And one of the most, you can say, disturbing animals, getting agitated very easily. So such sort of a vairagya is not recommended. Right? That's why Krishna says, the yoga, rather that sannyasa which is yoga yukta, which means the understanding that everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be offered to Krishna. This sannyasa is recommended, and not simply a sannyasa which is having no connection with Krishna. Simply a make show of a sannyasi is of no use. And this sannyasi means a person who knows everything belongs to Krishna, should be used, everything should be used for Krishna. He understands that every activity of what he is doing is actually done by Krishna, it should be done for Krishna. Right? Whatever activities in the body, what is going on is all Krishna's will only, it is going on. I am desiring. So if I desire only for Krishna's service, that is for my benefit. So Krishna explained that in this way, you should perform your duty without attachment, surrendering all our results unto Krishna only. And this is going to free you from all sinful reactions. And Krishna gives the example of Padma Patram Ivambasa. Just like a lotus leaf is untouched by water. Similarly, a person who is having this type of a mentality, consciousness, who is doing all activities for Krishna, results offered to Krishna, and is not attached to any results for his personal self, is actually is transcendental. Let's move forward from verse number 11. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyair api yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. So here Krishna is again continuing his discussion with regard to which type of a yogi or a sannyasi. Now, a yogi means you have to understand is a bhakti yogi. A bhakti yogi karma kurvanti, he is doing all activities with his kayena, with his body, manasa, with his mind, buddhya, with his intelligence, and even with his senses. Body, mind, intelligence, and senses, everything is actually utilizing them for what? He is using all of them for Atma Shuddhi, for self-purification, not for more entangling himself. Right? Atma Vishuddhaye. Krishna is going to use this word in the next chapter also. Atma Vishuddhaye means the yoga performance is for self-purification. Because right now our contamination is what? I am thinking I am this bodily conception of life. This bodily conception of life is trying to make me think that I have to work for me, myself. Me and my extensions, aham and mama. This is called contamination, kalmasha. So this contamination has to be, purified, right? So this contamination can be purified only when you perform yoga. Yoga means activity in connection with Krishna. So how does these yogis act? Yogina karma kurvanti. They first of all act with their body, mind, senses, intelligence, everything for Krishna's satisfaction without any attachment. Sangam tyaktva. See, this attachment, to abandon attachment is a basic principle Krishna repeating again and again and again and again. Right? Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Abandon attachment to results. Because we are too, you can say, attached to result. It's called fruitive mentality. Phalapeksha karma. You're having the apeksha of phala. Phala means fruits. What I will get in this. So Krishna's recommendation, whole until end of 18th chapter, he goes on repeating this. Give up attachment, because our conditioning or our wiring in the mind, body system is such that what I will get. What I will get from hearing Bhagavad Gita session. Right. I just have to hear, that's all. Why? Because it's going to purify me. Like Prabhupada says, the 17th chapter, later on, one of the aspects of tapasya is that you have to worship Krishna. Why? People think worship Krishna means, worship God means I have to get some artha, money, or some problem is there to solve. No. To worship Krishna for the sake of worshiping Krishna. That's all. That is your duty. Right? That way. So our whole conditioning is attachment to results. Whereas when you act for Krishna, the attachment to results for myself should be given. You put all your efforts to work for Krishna, for achieving results to Krishna. And whatever results Krishna sanctions, accept it. In Prabhupada's life, Prabhupada put his best efforts to preach Krishna consciousness. Once he got the orders from his spiritual master. 1922, first time Prabhupada met his spiritual master in Kolkata. And he was ordered by his spiritual master, you preach Krishna consciousness to all English-speaking people. Prabhupada tried his best. He started a Back to Godhead magazine, 1944. He was a householder, Grihastha, having 5 children, running his pharmaceutical business. And he also started an organization called League of Devotees in Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh. Nothing was successful. He tried. So many things he tried. And he finally left his, rather, he had to take Vanaprastha from his family, settled down in Vrindavan, 1956. He took sannyas in 1959. Finally, he got an indication that, to start translating Bhagavatam and writing commentary on that. He got ready with the first canto of Bhagavatam. Then he left the US, America, with no money, with some support. So he was that way the whole life, one sense. 70 years, he was only preparing to go to the West in one sense, if you see. Right? So he was not attached to the result, what is coming. He was only sincerely endeavoring, trying for Krishna's service. Why? Because he has got an order from his Guru. That should be our whole way of acting. Should not be impatient. Result is not coming. Result is not. It means you're attached to result. Our whole effort should be how to please Guru and Krishna by my effort to endeavor to act in the way they are telling. Result sanction is Krishna's desire, Krishna's will. That is the point. So here, very interestingly, Krishna is telling, when you act in this way, only for the satisfaction of Krishna, all engage your body, mind, senses, intelligence, everything for Krishna's satisfaction. This is going to purify your contamination of your existence. Kalmasha, our existence is right now contaminated with the thoughts of I and mine. Mama, aham, mama. It should be nirmama, nirahankara. I am not this body, this is not mine. It should be nirapeksha, without any personal desire for one's own gratification. Right? And helplessly pray to Krishna. Right? It is the way we are supposed to move forward in our devotional life. So, Prabhupada says, this is the only way you can please Krishna and Guru, by performing activities as prescribed by Guru Sadhu Shastra. And these activities are called Sadachara, Prabhupada says. Sadachara means activities as sanctioned in scriptures. Otherwise, generally our activities are Durachara. Durachara means activities not sanctioned by Guru Sadhu Shastra. So, we should be always acting in a way as it is sanctioned by Guru Sadhu Shastra. Sadachara, Sadvichara, Sadhu Sangha, all these are important. Right? So, in this way, if you act, Prabhupada is quoting from Rupa Goswami, that acting this way with your body, mind, senses, intelligence is going to liberate you even in this life. Iha yasya harer dasye karmana manasa gira nikhilasu avyavasthasu jivan muktasa uchyate. Again, Rupa Goswami uses the same word. Karmana manasa gira. By your activities, mind, body, you are only doing service to Krishna. Every activity, you are not entangled in sin. That's what Krishna said in verse number 10. When you do like this, and you are liberated even in this body. Jivan muktasa uchyate. Right? It may look like a devotee is also engaged in so many material activities, like any other ordinary person. I am also going to market to purchase vegetables, kirana. Somebody else is also coming there. But I am purchasing everything for Krishna, for his satisfaction, for his bhoga. Other person is purchasing for himself and his family. No Krishna in the picture. That's the point. So, Prabhupada says, such a person has no false ego. What is the false ego? It is the contamination. Right? False ego means wrong identification that I am this body. Right? He is very clear that I am not this body, I am spirit, soul. I have to act only for Krishna. Right? He knows my identity is what? I belong to Krishna. Krishna is the master. This body also, Krishna's only. It's just to be engaged only for Krishna's service. In this way, devotee knows everything should be used for Krishna's service. That is the perfection of life. Right? So that way, he's in every action is trying to purify his consciousness. That is the whole aspect of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means right now, our consciousness is conditioned in a way that body consciousness, money consciousness, name consciousness, fame consciousness, so many consciousness is filling our body, our existence now. You have to give up all those things and become Krishna conscious. Only for Krishna, nothing else. Right? All this consciousness keeps popping up in different ways throughout our life. You want to become famous, so working hard. I want to get money, working hard. I want to become minister, working hard. Ask anybody, why are they working? No, I want to become president of the club. Okay. So for that, you are working hard. Now, next year election is there. No, I have to work hard now. Right? Like this many, anybody you ask, they're all having an aim. Their consciousness is filled with position, power, name, money, so many things. Right? As Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Labha, Puja, Pratishtha. Profit, Labha. Puja means adoration. Oh, they should all glorify. Oh, such a big man, such a nice man. So capable person, so intelligent person. You can manage the whole society, You are the best. Not only that, they want that after their death, their name should perpetually be there. Late so-and-so did this. They should remember you. That is called Pratishtha. Labha, Puja, Pratishtha. People are working only for these things. Profit, adoration, and perpetual fame. Nothing more. We should transform this Labha, Puja, Pratishtha for Krishna. What benefit Krishna can get? How Krishna can be, glorified? How Krishna can be perpetually, be famous? if you can work towards Krishna, that is purification. Very simple. Krishna consciousness is very simple. Same tendencies you have in your heart for yourself, Labha, Puja, Pratishtha, give it to Krishna. That's what this verse is telling. Otherwise, you see, you analyze your consciousness. What is all going on? My family should be well known. I should be well known. Even after I die, my family name should be always there in the book, Guinness Book of Records. Right? They should all glorify us. Such a big family, such a great family. Who will go to see Guinness Book of Records? Nobody is going to say. In the year so and so, so much such a person was there, he is not nowhere. In fact, whole history, if you see, we only have history of 2,000, 3,000 years maximum. But there are millions and millions of years of history where it is now. Bhagavatam says, simply increasing the volume of history book is no point. That's why Bhagavatam doesn't give history of everything. Only important history it gives. Where is devotional history? Very interesting. Recently, one of the Bhagavatam class I was hearing, Mother Pandit was telling, our life is a story which over after this life. Nobody will remember this. Story means what? Story is story. Once there was a king who had a queen. He had this, that, this, over, story. Whereas, what happens with Krishna, whatever devotion you do, becomes a history. History in Krishna's records. It's like Prabhupada, whatever he did has become a history. It's not simply story. Right? The history. In fact, Prabhupada's history will be spoken in the future Bhagavatam. There was a great devotee like this who was transformed. Mlechas, Yavanas were all so downtrodden. They all became devotees. His Bhagavatam will be written there later on. That is the power of, because devotees' activities are always glorified, ever glorified. That's the point. So let us not simply make stories and leave this world. One more story of one more, ordinary householder. Let us, be in the records of Krishna by becoming a devotee. Right? This devotee histories will not be ordinarily known. It will only known to Krishna and pure devotees. Okay. Next, verse number 12. Yukta karma phala sangam. Sorry, yukta karma phala tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtiki ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. So Krishna is again, in different ways he's telling, he is comparing here between yukta and ayukta. Yukta means one who is connected with Krishna consciousness or doing all activities in Krishna consciousness. So how does he act? He acts in a way, karma phalam tyaktva. See, again repeating. Carefully observe. Verse after verse, Krishna is telling this. Give up attachment to results. Give up attachment to results. See, previous verse. Continuously Krishna is repeating the same thing. Right? Karma phalam tyaktva. Who? A devoted soul is free from attachment to results. Right? And because of this, he is peaceful. So Krishna, Prabhupada says, he is having unadulterated peace. No attachment to results. Whatever comes, Krishna is sanctioning. It's like actually, it is said you are peaceful when you go to bed. Within few minutes, you should be able to have a sound sleep. That is called peaceful. Otherwise, you go to bed also, you are thinking, oh, this problem, that problem. Something will happen. I have kept some money in the cupboard. My wife will come and take away, means he'll go. Or some kept money somewhere there. Somebody will take away. Bang, I have kept some this, that. Oh, full of, midnight, 12 o'clock also not able to sleep. You'll call the doctor. Doctor, I'm not able to get sleep. Why? Because so many tensions, stress, too much of stress. I got so much money, but stress, no peace. Right? So, this you are not devoted. That's what Krishna says next. Ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. One who is not in union with the divine, which means he is an ordinary person not connected with Krishna, He is what? He is greedy for the result. Kama karena. And he is very much hankering for the fruits of his labor. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. He is having no peace. He is fully entangled. So simple. He is devoted. He knows Krishna is going to take care of me. Everything leave it to Krishna. No worry. Tomorrow what will be my breakfast? No worry. Krishna will give whatever happens comes. What will be my future is Krishna's hands. Put everything in Krishna's, and Prabhupada's shelter. Surrender. It's called surrender. That's why Krishna says in the end, Ma Suchaha, don't worry. Surrender and don't worry. Our problem is we surrender and we worry. That means half surrender. Some portion of surrender and worry also is there. Too much worry. Whether Krishna can really protect, I don't know. But you have to make some arrangement. This way we start worrying. That's the problem. So the difference between a Krishna conscious person and a person in bodily consciousness is what Krishna is explaining here. Krishna conscious person attached to body. In bodily consciousness, ordinary person who is not Krishna conscious. Right? One is attached to Krishna, another is attached to results of his activities. Right? So the person who is attached to Krishna works only for him, Prabhupada says, is a liberated person and is not anxious for any fruitive results, fruitive rewards. Right? So this anxiety or too much restlessness is why? Because you are thinking, I am the person who is doing everything. You think I am the cause of this activity. I had to get the result. Anxiety is because of that. Bhagavatam, Prabhupada is quoting from Bhagavatam. When you think independent of Krishna, there is factor of fear or anxiety. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshata syat. Isham apetasya viparyo sputi. When you forget Krishna and think, I am independent, I can do anything and everything, that is the cause of fear and anxiety. Whereas a devotee knows everything is Krishna's, Krishna's sanction happens, it will happen. I have to do my desiring to sincerely serve Krishna. That's what in your hand. That's everything left to Krishna. So no anxiety. Actually, it's a Vaikuntha consciousness. Vaikuntha consciousness means no anxiety. Next moment, what will happen? Let whatever happen, no. Whereas ordinarily, a person is so much anxious. Right? I have made so many insurances, medical insurance, vehicle insurance, house insurance, that insurance. Ooh. But when something happens, no person will come and save you. Only Krishna only can save you. Yoga kshemu vaham yaham. Right? Only Krishna can save. The biggest insurance for us is what? Krishna's Nama. No other can save you. Nothing can save you. That's why Bhagavatam says they're all false or they're all, illusory sainya, army. Asat sainya. Shukadeva Goswami says. My family, insurance company, my government, my society, when something happens to me, everybody is going to save me. Nothing is going to save you. If Krishna doesn't want it to happen, it will not happen. If Krishna wants, with nothing, you will be saved. Prabhupada says, Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. Means, if Krishna wants to save you, no danger in the material world can harm you. If Krishna doesn't want to save you, even the best facilities, nothing can happen. So this peace a devotee has. That's why Prabhupada says here, he is having unadulterated peace, perfect peace. Very important. It's like you have pure gold. What is a pure gold? 24 karat, no? Like that, no? Pure peace. Unadulterated peace. No? Not 18 karat gold or 15 karat gold. No. 24 karat gold. Pure peace. It's very important. What Prabhupada is telling. Every word of Bhagavad Gita in that way is Now, if you get into details, if you get into more understanding and study, it will give you volumes of meanings. So, Prabhupada says, activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane, which means they are not material activities. Material activity means every step there is anxiety. Prahlad Maharaj, he says to his father Hiranyakashipu, this material world, every step is full of anxiety. Why? Because our mind is filled, our consciousness is filled with material things. Asadgrahat. Sada samudvignam asadgrahat. Samudvigna means anxieties, entanglements, that problem, this problem. Mind is full. They're all burning in the consciousness, in the heart, like fire, wildfire. Samsara dava, lead haloka. That is our consciousness. So many problems. Simply you have to touch somebody. How are you? He will tell 10 problems. Like vomit. They will think, why did I ask him, how are you? No, that problem, this problem. No, whole thing you will start telling, crying. Because nobody is there to ask him also, what is your problem? What is the problem? Right? Somebody asked, so he's feeling so much happy. Oh, you're asking me at least. Right? This is the present day situation. So, Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says, activity in Krishna consciousness will immediately bring you to the platform of absolute consciousness, where there is no material, anxieties. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava maha davagni nirvapanam. When your consciousness is getting purified slowly by practicing chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and hearing Hare Krishna Mantra, what happens? The anxieties within you is slowly getting extinguished. Just see. The level of anxiety you had before you started chanting Hare Krishna few months back, few years back, is significantly reduced now. You're not worried. Okay, it will happen. Why I should be worried? It's like when I joined as a full-time missionary, common question people used to ask me, what about your family? Who is going to take care of your family? I told Krishna will take care. Right? What if I am dead? Who would have taken care? I would ask this question to them. Of course, I was that time immature. I would be very challengingly ask them, who will take care if I am not there? The thing is, everybody thinks because of me, my family, everything is running. Because of me, this whole institution is running. That is the biggest illusion people have. That is going to put them in more anxiety. I am just playing my role. That's all. As long as I am alive. Prabhupada always did this. From the beginning of his starting of his movement, 1965 up to 77, Prabhupada used to constantly tell this. I am an old man, anytime I can be out of picture. See? A worldwide movement he built. But he said, I don't know what will happen in any moment. This is a pure devotee's consciousness. Chaitanya Charitamrita author, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was requested to write, in fact, by the devotees in Vrindavan because they wanted to hear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's later pastimes. Chaitanya's Leelas are written in two big literatures. One is called Chaitanya Bhagavata, written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. He is again incarnation of Vyasadeva in Chaitanya Leela. And Vrindavan Das Thakur has very thoroughly described Chaitanya's childhood Leela, Balya Leela, then his youth pastimes, and is going to Jagannath Puri taking sannyas. But he didn't describe the last pastimes, Antya pastimes, because he was so overwhelmed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. He didn't want to do that. Already that itself is huge literature, Chaitanya Bhagavata. And there was a request from all the devotees in Vrindavan to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, to write specifically, elaborate on the pastimes of Chaitanya's last pastimes, where he was in Puri for 18 years, and how he, went back. So, in fact, Krishna Kaviraj Goswami describes to some extent initially in very brief way. He keeps quoting. Vrindavan Das Thakur already has written many things. I don't want to further elaborate. And then he starts describing the Antya Leela. And when he wrote this, in the beginning he writes, I am old, invalid, I cannot see. I have taken up this big task. I don't know whether I'll complete or not. Only with the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Madan Mohan, Nityananda Prabhu, maybe I will be able to complete. But whatever I have written, devotees, please take it. He writes like this in Adi Leela, Madhya Leela also. There are 3 parts of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Madhya Leela, in fact, Madhya Leela is describing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes of taking sannyas and his traveling and his pastimes in Puri. The Antya Leela comes later. But he was out of so much an anxiety, so he wrote the synopsis of Antya Leela in the beginning of Madhya Leela. He was thinking, I will pass away anytime. Just see. So the point here is, devotees are ready to give up their life anytime. They are not in anxiety with regard to their life, personal life. Whereas ordinarily a person is very anxious. Oh, I have to live like this forever. I don't know what will happen. This anxiety is only create more blood pressure. It will only increase more blood pressure, more stress, and more so many health problems. Okay, that is the point. That's what Prabhupada is telling. The devotees' actions are on a spiritual plane, transcendental plane. They don't have material effects. Therefore, they are in complete peace. Whereas one who is engaged in profit calculation for sense gratification, very important word Prabhupada is, profit calculation for sense gratification, is entangled and no peace. Right? So this is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Only for Krishna I have to do, nothing else. Then full peace. Peace is a byproduct when you do service to Krishna. It comes as a offer along with Diwali offer. It says you purchase this, you'll get this free. So if you worship Krishna, peace, happiness, everything comes as free offers. One of the acharyas explains, Prabhupada quotes this verse. We don't endeavor for mukti. When you do bhakti, mukti is standing at your door, holding her hands, waiting to serve you. Just see, people are endeavoring for mukti, mukti, mukti. But why? You just do bhakti, mukti will follow you. That's the point. Okay. Next 3 verses, 13, 14, 15, are very interesting verses. They are quite philosophical. And I'll see whatever I can cover in this session. The verse number 13 is going to explain about Jivatma. Verse 14 is going to explain about Prakriti. And verse 15 is going to explain about Paramatma. Because just like I'm talking now, if I think I am doing this action of talking, it is wrong. I am talking by, I can only desire to talk. And this whole phenomena of the body is created by material nature, under sanction, again by sanction of Krishna. It works when Krishna sanctions. Okay, if this power of talking is withdrawn from Krishna, even though I desire, I have the instrument of talking, Krishna doesn't will, then I cannot talk. Just like I give the example many times. A paralytic person, he wants to lift his hand because the power of lifting is withdrawn. He has desire to lift, he has the hand also, but Krishna is no sanction is there, so material nature will not cooperate. So this is the whole principle behind which these three verses have to be understood. So verse number 13, Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan na karayan. So Krishna is telling about the situation of the spirit soul right now and how you can maintain a transcendental consciousness. Okay, it is quite philosophical. You cannot immediately understand by reading one time. You have to read number of times and understand it properly, because Prabhupada has spoken everything or written everything in the purport very nicely. So here, this verse, Krishna is telling, we are in the city of 9 gates. Navadvare pure dehi. This body is called the city of 9 gates. What are the 9 gates? 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, mouth. How many? 7 already. 1 genital, 1 rectum. So it's like Prabhupada says, in a house, there are windows and doors, right, through which you are able to communicate with the outside world. Likewise, light, air, ventilation happens through windows and doors. You also go in and out through doors. Like that, these 9 gates, Navadvare Pure Dehi. This is the way our body is constructed, with 9 gates, 9 holes, wherein there is interaction with the outside world. Okay. So, right now, I am thinking that this body with 9 gates is my body. Right? The 3rd chapter, Krishna explains, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyat. So one who is under the influence of the modes of nature, he, out of false ego, he thinks that I am doing everything. But in actuality, everything is carried out by material nature. Krishna explained this in the 3rd chapter. This is how an ordinary person and a person who is tattvavit, or who is having proper understanding, he can distinguish this. A ignorant person sees, oh, I am doing big business. I am a big man. I am a big cricketer. I have scored 49 centuries in cricket match. Like this, they go on boasting about so many things about themselves. I am a great achiever. So, Prabhupada says, because the modes of nature are functioning in a particular way and your karma is sanctioning that, you deserve, so it looks like you are doing everything. And you are under the impression that I am doing everything. So, the living entity, the spirit soul, is right now embodied and conditioned in this situation of this material body. But its situation is not that it should be like this. That's what Krishna has been explaining from the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmin yatha dehe. You are not deha, you are dehi within the body. You are spirit soul within the body. You are not the body. You are the dehi means the living entity, spirit soul. So, the living entity right now is identifying itself with the body. And it's telling, I am this body. This is the misconception. This is the bodily conception. Right? In this condition, it is going on throughout its life. Like this, life after life, many millions of lifetimes have been going on. This is the consciousness predominantly every living entity other than human being is having. Humans also have the same consciousness. Then they are also called Pashubi Narana. They are also Pashus. Prabhupada says there are 2-legged animals or polished animals with shirt and coat and nicely dressed. They are polished animals. So we are also like animals only, but little polish is there. And Prabhupada also says, man is called a rational animal, but rationality is missing, so he's only animal. That is the point, right? That is the problem right now. Like, no rationality in anything. Everything is irrational. So, this is the point which Krishna is trying to address here. We are going on with the bodily consciousness or bodily concept of life throughout the body, and is left to you. That's what will give you one more body. Whatever concept you have, conception you carry whole life, that type you carry, and then you die that way, you'll get one more body. But if you understand, realize, that's what the fourth chapter was meant for. Transcendental knowledge is what? I am spirit soul. Krishna is supreme soul. I am not this body. I am spirit soul. So, right now I've forgotten my spiritual nature. Prabhupada is a superior nature. And I am wrongly identifying myself with this body. And because of this, I am suffering. Once I get a body means it's the imprisonment. I am suffering. Right? This whole suffering is because of accepting myself as body, bodily consciousness. Prabhupada often quotes one nice anecdote from Socrates' life. Heard of Socrates, Greek philosopher? That time he proposed, or rather he said, I am not the body and spirit soul. And people in Greece were all shocked. What are you telling? How can you say we cannot see soul, we are only body. So he was imprisoned, and he was about to be killed. So the jail superintendent said, how do you want to die, Socrates? Will we give you, we'll take some poison, or we will kill you in some other way? So Socrates said, first of all, catch me, then kill me. Which means the soul, you cannot even see and catch. What you will do? Just to give understanding how a person in the spiritual consciousness, I gave examples of Prabhupada, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. They're all on the spiritual platform. Right? Bodily consciousness means, tomorrow, next moment, anxieties. So, Krishna is telling, out of your own choice, understanding the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita, you start disidentifying yourself from the body. Sarvopadi vinir muktam, as Narad Muni says. Upadi which you have taken. I am this body and bodily designation. I am man, I am woman, I am this person, I am father, mother, this. All the designations which you are carrying on your head. If you can disassociate, disidentify, then live in a way that I am actually belonging to Krishna. Prabhupada says, this is called controlled life, in which his deliberations are changed. Very important statement Prabhupada is making. Krishna conscious life is actually a controlled life, wherein again and again you're reminded, I am not this body, I am spirit soul. And you have to act on that platform. And to act on that platform, just like chanting Hare Krishna mantra, requires proper background understanding. Right? And why am I chanting? I'm chanting Krishna's names who has come in this sound form, Nama, Rupa. And he has come to deliver me. I am entangled in this body. I have no other way, other means to be delivered. When you chant, you will enter, chant and hear, you will enter inside, you will deliver me. It's called deliberation. Whatever I have heard from scriptures, you will deliberate. Deliberate means contemplation, meditating on what you have heard, intellectually trying to analyze things based on scriptural understanding. Or am I really the body, or am I spirit soul? This deliberation is required. So, Prabhupada says, in this way, if you can lead a life of control, not from the, not like in a bodily life, you are in one sense controlled in a different way, but a spiritual life, controlled spiritual life. Control means controlled by Guru Sadhu Shastra, in which your deliberations are based on, again, Guru Sadhu Shastra. And Krishna says here, such a person can happily live in this life also. And for him, there is no bondage. It's like any action you do ordinarily, in the material world, in a bodily consciousness, you are entangled. Karma. Whereas for a devotee, a person who is practicing this, a spiritual life or a controlled life with the deliberations as given by Guru Sadhu Shastra, then his way of life is that he is free from all such bondages. So Prabhupada says, when the embodied living being controls his nature, what nature? Right now, our spiritual nature, rather spiritual nature is colored or conditioned in a material way. And we are thinking, I am the body. So this nature has to be controlled. And mentally renounces all actions. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. Mind is the culprit with regard to speculation, concoction. Everything is getting cooked in your mind. Masalas. Big, recipes are going on in your mind. This, that, this, so many things in your mind. So, that's what Krishna says. What does he say in second chapter? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata. Give up all mental concoctions, mental speculations. So Krishna is repeating the same thing here. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi. Vashi means controlled, which means you're able to act. Control basically means act in the way Guru Sadhu Shastra wants us to act. Traffic control means what? Traffic police has made one rule. Go like this, roll like this, turn like this. That is called control, traffic control. Like that, we as a spirit soul use our material mind, material intelligence to act and think, deliberate in a way scriptures, Prabhupada want us to do. Then, even though in this body, doesn't matter. You can be happily performing your Krishna consciousness. So, the first verse number 13 is talking about individual soul. Let's come to verse number 14. Na kartratvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. Now, Krishna is further telling about material nature. Prabhava. Svabhava. Svabhava means the modes of nature. Right? So, if your consciousness is what? If your consciousness is predominantly, I am not this body and spirit soul, and I am connected to Krishna. This is the consciousness you have. And this body is only incidental. Should be used for Krishna's service. That way you are deliberating and you are connecting yourself. Then there is no point of any entanglement at all. Even though in the body, you are not. That's what Krishna has been telling so far. Right? What did he say in 10th verse? Lipyate nasapapena brahmana jaya karmani. Right? When you're working in this consciousness, acting in this consciousness, nothing is going to affect you. You're free from all reactions, bondage. So, further Krishna is telling here, the embodied spirit, who is the master of the city of this body, he does not create activities, na karmani, nor does he induce people to act, lokasya srijati, nor does he create the fruits of activities, karma phala samyogam. Very important revelation Prabhupada is making here. So here, Krishna is telling, when you think you are this body, you think, I am the performer of actions. I am the proprietor. I am the performer of actions. And I have to enjoy the fruits of results. Krishna is telling other way. When you know you are not this body, your spirit soul, then you are not the proprietor. You are not doing any actions. And you are not attached to fruits of your activities. And who is doing all these things? Everything is done by Svabhava. The modes of nature are enacting all of these things. Right? So very nicely, Prabhupada explains in the purport. This body is just an instrument which is given to you for fulfilling your desires. And you can only desire, materially desire. But the actions are performed by the phenomena of this body. Prabhupada says the temporary body or material dwelling place which he obtains is the cause of varieties of activities and the resultant reactions. Living in such a conditional atmosphere, one suffers the results of the activities of the body by identifying himself with the body. So this ignorance we have acquired from time immemorial, that is the cause of bodily suffering and distress. Okay. So, I will not further take much time. This requires some more deliberation. I request all of you to read these verses, what we have discussed today, especially 13, 14 and 15 also. 15 we will try to discuss more in the next session. Okay, so here Krishna is telling about our whatever we do, whatever we think I am doing, whatever way I think I am the proprietor of this, I am doing that, I am doing this. Basically, it is all material nature, different permutation combinations presenting to us. Prabhupada very nicely explains. As long as in city of the body, he appears to be the master of the body. I am the proprietor of this body, he thinks. Right? He is neither the proprietor nor the controller of his actions and reactions. What simply in the midst of material ocean, struggling for existence. You get put in the ocean, middle of the ocean. What happens? The waves are tossing you. Mayar Vashe Pachu. Abu Dabu. There is a statement from Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Kirtan. We are under the control of Maya and we are tossed waves up and down, up and down. So if you have a proper transcendental consciousness, Krishna consciousness, these waves of Maya tossing you will not affect you. You think, oh, this is happening, oh, that is happening, I am because of this case has got implicated, oh, this material problem, this health problem, all this going on. Because I think I am the proprietor, I am the master, I am doing everything because of many things are going on. This is all false consciousness. False consciousness. Okay. This, as I told you, these verses are little philosophical. Requires careful study and understanding. Fine, I'll close now. Anybody wants to ask, discuss, you can take up. Anything, any questions, any comments? Fine, you want to ask? Yeah, please.
Prabhu, there is one saying that Kurvan api na lipyate. So what does that mean? Kurvan api na lipyate means whatever you are doing, you are not getting entangled. That whatever you are doing is by the mind, it affects the mind. Then what is happening to the consciousness, which is not mind, but consciousness? What is the connection between the two? How it connects to consciousness?
Mind and consciousness connection?
Yeah, from mind to consciousness. Yes. Because in material nature only till the mind only. In the spiritual section, it is the consciousness. So how this gets transferred there?
See, we have to understand, we have our material mind, material intelligence.
Yes.
Material senses right now. Why we have all these things? Because we have spiritual mind, spiritual intelligence, spiritual senses. Consciousness is the same. Spiritual consciousness, it is pure. Right now, consciousness, what we have spiritually is contaminated. It is modes. Okay. So, the material mind is the carrier of the consciousness from outside to a carrier of any spiritual, say, with regard to Hare Krishna mantra. The mind mind is attentively hearing, right? What happens? Attention is that carrier from this external world to your Atma, to awaken. So when our spiritual mind, spiritual intelligence, spiritual consciousness is awakened, rather in one sense as Krishna is speaking here, it's purified, then no difference. The material act like, just like it is, the example Prabhupada often gives is iron rod kept in fire. What happens continuously? It will act like fire. Iron rod is no more iron. So, what is Krishna telling in verse number 7? Kurvan apina lipyate is a person who is working in this devotional consciousness, who is a Shuddhatma, Vishuddhatma, who is controlled his mind and senses. He is actually dear to everybody. Looks like he is working like any other social worker. No, he is actually on a transcendental platform. Like Prabhupada's actions are on transcendental platform. So, ordinarily, a social worker may be, from the worldly point of view, doing good things, but he is entangled. Whereas a transcendentally situated person like Prabhupada, Goswamis, even though they act, looks like on the material platform, but their actions are never entangled. Kurvan apina lipyate. Lipyate means entangled.
Yes.
In our case, because we are not in the transcendental consciousness, our actions are entangling. Gradually, we are trying to come out from this entanglement step by step and moving towards that situation of what Krishna is telling us here. So your specific question of the connection between mind and consciousness. Right now, our spiritual mind is sleeping. Spiritual intelligence is sleeping. Consciousness is there. It's like the soul is continuously emitting consciousness. It's like white light coming from a source. But if you keep some colored glass or colored paper, some green cover you put in front of this white light, what happens? What do you get? Likewise, the material body, the material senses, the material mind is that cover. So consciousness is coming out, but it is having a colored, contaminated vision. So the same material mind, again, material mind, material intelligence are not separate from Krishna's energy. They're all part of Krishna's energy only. Right? Bhumi, Anala, Apa, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara. Right? Mind, intelligence, ego, they're all part of Krishna's energy only, but there one more energy called Bahiranga Shakti, material energy. But when it is used for Krishna's service, they also become spiritualized. When your material mind is used for chanting Hare Krishna, hearing Hare Krishna, understanding Bhagavad Gita, doing Krishna's service, it is getting spiritualized. The same example of iron rod keeping in fire, spiritualized. So the material mind, material intelligence are only instruments right now. Those very instruments become spiritualized when you as a spirit soul desire to do only service to Krishna. Okay. So right now, for us, the mind is the only, you can say, carrier of our attention.
Yes.
Attention again is energy of soul. So when the attention with regard to hearing about Krishna is carried out by the material senses like tongue, ear, this attention is, that's why when you say chant Hare Krishna and hear Hare Krishna, it means you're offering your attention energy. It's what Krishna explained now in 4th chapter. Right? Shrotadin Indriyanyanye Shabda, verse number 26. Shrotadin Indriyanyanye Samyamagnishu Juhvati. Shabdadin Vishayananya Indriyagnishu Juhvati. 4th chapter, 26th verse. When you offer the hearing, when you sacrifice the hearing process and senses in the fire of controlled mind, right? What happens? Then that is called yagna, which means The senses otherwise are agitated, doing so many things. And these senses are controlled by mind.
Yes.
Right? This mind, if it is controlled by the higher intelligence, Krishna's intelligence, when your intelligence is guided by Krishna's intelligence, that is called Buddhi Yoga. Then what happens? The mind will simply follow instruction. Oh, I have to only, the senses have to act for Krishna. Just like the driver is driving. If you tell driver, take a right, he will take a right. Left to himself, he'll be going on in one direction. Right. So, the intelligence, your intelligence should be guided by Krishna's intelligence. And accordingly, you direct the mind. You act like this, you act. Because mind, whatever way you train, it gets trained. It's a matter of time. Okay. So, the mind, if you say, chant and hear continuously, then it will start doing that slowly. It's a matter of time. Practice. Okay. So, actually, for us right now, our material mind is the only way to awaken our consciousness. Material mind, material senses, to engage them in the way Prabhupada wants us. Right? When you constantly, continuously hear about Krishna by chanting and hearing and reading Bhagavad Gita, that is going to purify our contaminated consciousness. Right? That is the connection. Right now, the material mind are all instruments which can be used for awakening our spiritual consciousness. The only provided you use the way it is controlled or recommended. That's why Krishna says controlled mind. Samyamagnishu juhvati. The fire of controlled mind. Because mind is uncontrolled, it go here and there. You go in its own directions. Okay. So, lipyate nasapapena, other Kurvan apina lipyate, which means even if you do activities, you're not entangled when the direct actions are performed as per direction of Guru Sadhu Shastra. Otherwise, you'll be entangled. If you do actions whimsically, you'll be entangled. If you do actions as per directions, you're not entangled. The Prabhupada gives a famous example. A soldier in the army, in the war, if he follows commander's orders and he will get a big reward. And same commander, the soldier comes to his village and starts shooting everybody. What happens? He will be in trouble. Likewise. One way, same thing is doing, shooting only, no. He's not entangled. Other way, in the village he's shooting, he's entangled. That's the point. So, which means not to become entangled, which means the mind, if you should not be entangled, you follow the direction of Krishna. Guru Sadhu Shastra. If you leave the mind to itself, conditioned mind, it's going to entangle you more and more.
Okay.
Okay. Hope I have some extent answered your question.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Different angles. Okay, fine. So we'll close now and we'll meet again next week. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.